Hello there, today's video is all about servicing your Sebo yourself. Is it something you can do yourself? Yes, it is in the most part, unless there's something serious wrong with it. Routine servicing you can do yourself. So I'm going to run through what parts you may or may not need, and should you buy genuine or copy parts. So let's have a look. So this video is applicable to the X series, which for most people means the X1, the X4 or the X7 in a whole variety of colours. There's other machines in the X range as well. There's various XPs, there's an X5, there's an X8, there's XP 1, 2 and 3. But for most people it's going to be X1, X1.1, which is really an X4, X4 and X7. So let's have a closer look at what you're going to need. Now the X1, the X1.1 and the X4 take all the same filters and bags. What a lot of people do, they just buy a service box. Sebo do their own service box, which is 6 bags, a couple of filters and a sealing strip, which I'll show you where all they go. So the one for the X1, the X1.1 and the X4, if you search 5828 on our site, then you will find the one for this one there. If you prefer, you can buy the parts individually. So we also sell individually the small filter. We sell some copy bags individually, and we sell the tall tower filter as well. We sell them genuine and we sell them non-genuine as well. Now the tower filter, which is inside here where your bag is, there are 2 options for these. They both look the same, but the price is quite different between them. There's a standard one, which looks like this, and then there's a charcoal one, which PET models were fitted with originally. So if you've got a black PET X4 or an X7, then that would have been fitted with a charcoal one. They're a little bit heavier and they've got charcoal inside them to stop smells. Now you can retrofit a charcoal and a non-charcoal filter in each direction because they are functionally the same. So if you've got an older machine and you suffer with smells with dogs and things like that, then if you want, you can fit a charcoal filter to your machine. So if you want specifically the charcoal filter to get rid of smells and to replace like with like on a PET machine, search 5425 on our website. If you just want the standard filter, the cheaper one, search 5036 on our website. In addition to filters, I always suggest that you look at the brush roll, because a lot of people give no consideration to the brush roll, but it is one of the hardest working parts of the machine. Now I would say to you, absolutely routinely, if you have a brush roll that's got white or pale bristles, that's been on your machine since Adam was a lad, and it's time to get shut of it. If you've got one of these horrible things that's come from Amazon or eBay, I won't tell you the name of the firm who makes them, but they've got grey plastic ends on them. These are absolutely tragic. If you've got one of those fitted to your machine, it's going to affect your self-leveling, as any bad brush roll will. So if you've got one of them, get rid of that as well. Now, if you're buying, one of the main reasons you would buy a new brush roll is not because it's visibly worn, particularly because they don't tend to wear that much visibly. What happens is the height control mechanism on the machine, which you'll know as you recline the machine, it goes down, it senses the height of the floors. That gets its signal, the board inside the machine that dictates how high the machine's going to run, gets its signal from the resistance it gets from the brush roll. That means the stiffness of the bristles and how they interact with the floor. So a lot of people take out the brush roll and they go, oh, that looks okay. They clean it, they put it back in. And then they say, well, my machine's not self-leveling like it used to. And we say to them, yeah, fair brush roll. And they go, no, it's nice and clean, it doesn't look worn. I have that conversation 20 times a week. If you don't remember when you last changed your brush roll, or you've never changed it, buy a brush roll when you buy your filters. Now again, you've 2 options for those. You've got the genuine one. We sell both on our site. You've got the genuine one, and we also do our own brush roll. Now ours aren't one of the nasty things I've just shown you, the ones that we have made ourselves. So ours are decent quality, but as with many things, the genuine one is the best quality always. And if you've got particularly delicate floors, or you've got wool loop carpet or anything like that your existing brush roll is too aggressive on, Sebo also sell a green brush roll that has softer bristles. That's only for something you would use on very delicate floors. And if you're really struggling on deep pile carpet with a standard brush roll, you can also try one of those for that. But if you don't remember when you last changed your brush roll, it's time to change it. Now inside a service box comes 8 bags, as you'll know. comes the tower filter here, and comes the exhaust filter. And on an X1, an X1.1 and an X4, the exhaust filter is just in there, like that. So that's all you need to do. Locate your new one in there, close it like that. Your tower filter pulls off a track, whichever one you buy, pulls off a track, and there's a little metal clip here that you lift up in order to refit it, and it just slides back in like that. That's all there is to changing the filters. You'll know probably already, but I'll just run over it again about changing your brush roll. There's a button on the top. The end cap comes off. You can twist and pull the brush roll out. Now, if you buy a Sebo genuine service box, in it you get this little sealing strip, and I'm going to show you what that's for. Underneath your machine and behind your brush roll usually sits here a strip. Not on this one actually, because this one's as old as the hills, but on most of them the strip sits behind the brush roll, and I can show you actually on a new plate. So this is the plate that normally sits behind your brush roll. There's a couple of screws to take it off, and what this strip does is when the brush roll's rotating, it's especially on hard floors and tiles and things, it stops bits of muck being flicked out behind the machine. So it just creates a seal on the floor as you push the machine. Now, you may well find that the old strip is very difficult to get out. You can pull it with a pair of pliers, you can get a blade behind it, because a lot of muck builds up on it. But what actually happens is it slides out. That's why you have to take the strip off to do this. It slides out from one end. So if you're reusing your old one, you need to clean all this track out, like get the sharp edge of a knife in it, scrub it, you know, get it under the hot tap with a bit of soap. That channel has to be absolutely clean for the new one to be able to slide back in. And the one they supply you nowadays in the Sebo service box is a little bit longer, because it's also for wider machines, for the X5 and the X8. So you'll just need to trim it to size with a pair of scissors. If your old backplate is too damaged and knackered, then we sell those on our site. And similarly, while you're investigating the bottom of your machine, especially if you're changing your brush roll, this chrome strip on the front of the machine, if this is damaged or ripped, that's been caused by a poor condition brush roll, and it means that's been scraping the floor and scraping the barriers in between rooms if you've got like aluminium strips fitted, things like that. So if you need those also, we sell those on our site. And if you need to buy a front chrome strip, make sure you get the right one for your model. There's a couple of different ones, and you're going to need a T20 Torx screwdriver to change it. We sell those too if you haven't got one. That's like a star screwdriver. So next bit. So now we're going to look at the X7. Everything I've told you already is pretty much applicable to this, apart from part numbers. So they have the same tower filter inside. It's the same one as on the old machines. They take the same bags. They have the same sealing strips. They take the same brush rolls. If you do need to change the rear plate or the front plates near your brush roll, they are different on an X7, so be aware of that. Make sure when you're ordering parts that you're ordering for your model number, because slight differences do exist. If you're buying a genuine service box for your Sebo, if you have an X7, search for 51094 on our sites, and that will take you straight to the one for the X7. The only difference between the X7 and the X1 and X4 kit is the exhaust filter. On the X7, the exhaust filter is like this, and I will show you where it goes. On the back of the machine, you squeeze two little clips, and the filter is on a little hook, and it just pulls out like so. So you just feed it back in, nice and careful, locate it on the hook, and replace the door. That's the only difference in terms of filters and fitting filters between the older machines and the later machines. Some people, when they're doing a routine service, also like to buy a packet of air fresheners, and they want to know about cleaning up the body. So if you need to clean up the body in your machine, and if you've been using genuine bags, you probably shouldn't. It should be fairly clean inside here. And that does also prolong the life of this filter. But a lot of people are buying Bojack bags off Amazon and eBay and places like that, and a lot of them are really, really no good. The aftermarket bags that we sell aren't too bad, but like with everything, the genuine Sebo bags are the best. If you like the idea, if you want an air freshener, a lot of people like an air freshener, don't make the mistake of putting it inside the bag like some people do, because what happens, as soon as you get a bit of muck on top of it, it's not working. You just put it inside the body here somewhere, so it'll just rattle around, so that the airflow will pick up the scent and it will come out of the machine. You can buy genuine Sebo air fresheners and you can buy non-genuine Sebo air fresheners. We have both on our site. But there is a little caveat. If you've got a pet machine or a machine fitted with a charcoal filter, don't bother with air fresheners at all, because that charcoal filter that takes away the dog smells is also going to take away your air freshener smell, so you won't smell it. So we sell all service boxes for all machines. We sell all the filters. You can buy them with the, as part of the service box. You can buy them on their own. You can buy the bags on their own, or part of we sell all the brush rolls, all the strips I've showed you, tools to change them. We sell everything. If we haven't got it, you probably don't need it. In terms of bags, the genuine ones are always the best quality, and it's also worth mentioning about bags and filters. According to Sebo, if your machine is still in warranty, which means on a domestic machine in the first 5 years, fitting non-genuine parts, if you need to send the machine back in for a repair for whatever reason, unlikely but still, then according to Sebo, they will not honour the warranty if you fitted non-genuine parts. I've yet to see that happen, but that is what they say, so you need to be aware of that. But the genuine Sebo bags are very, very good quality, and obviously the best quality, being made in Germany. So that's what I use on my machine at home. We also do copy bags for those slightly more price conscious. These are not bad, but like I've said before, do be cautious about cheap and nasty bags on places like eBay and Amazon, because a lot of them are really, really poor. The fittings on them are poor, and it causes them to leak around the seal, and then they leak into the cavity where the bag is, and then they make your filter mucky. It can be a false economy. Buy good quality. Now, what you can also buy, and some people prefer, the microfiber bags are standard on all domestic machines, but you can also buy paper bags. They're designed for the commercial ranges, the XPs, but some people like a paper bag for environmental reasons. So they also do a pack of 10 paper bags. So you can also look for those on the site if you need those. And that pretty much is all there is to it in terms of DIY servicing for a Sebo X Series. So we've covered the brush roll, we've covered the strips back and front, and I've told you why the brush roll is important to pay some attention to. You know how to change the bags. I've showed you how to change the tower filter, and there's 2 different types of exhaust filter to be aware of across the range. And that is pretty much all the maintenance that you need to do on a Sebo. So I hope you found that informative. As usual, seboshop.co.uk for all your Sebo spare parts, accessories, tools, brushes, everything else. And if you have something wrong with your machine that is beyond the scope of DIY repair, then we have a national service where you can send your machine in to us, or in some cases you need only send the base in, or sometimes just the handle. If you go on our site, go on repairs, read all about that. We've also got tutorials, how to change the power cable. We've got tutorials on lots of different things and other repairs that you can do to your machine yourself if you're practically inclined. If you're not practically inclined, if you're within reach of us, you can bring it to us here in Stockport, or we'll take machines from anywhere in the country. So thank you for watching the video. I hope you found it informative, and I'll see you next time.